7. Okay, here is 6-1 part 2, I think the third video. We're talking about example 5. We're talking about some identities. This is the very first step into trig identities, which is a very, very long and difficult road once you get into some high-end trig and calculus stuff. Anyway, they're starting off really easily with the reciprocal identities. If you remember from the very first page in this section, that sine, cosine, and tangent have cosecant, secant, and cotangent as their reciprocals. So if you remember this six-way grid right here, you can always go backwards and forwards. So what's the reciprocal identity for cosine? Well, the reciprocal is 1 over secant of x. You see how that's a reciprocal? This is an identity. That means this is always going to be true. How about cosecant? What's the reciprocal identity for cosecant? Well, it's the reciprocal of this. I'd say 1 over sine of x. And same thing for tangent. Tangent and cotangent are reciprocal identities. So I'd say 1 over cotangent of x. Okay? So as long as you remember your grid right here, the reciprocal identities go this way for all the six-way grid. Now, a co-function identity is a little bit easier because I told you before there's one co-word in each name of the trig identities. A co-function identity is based on the other two acute angles in a right triangle have to add up to 90 because I got this 90 right here. The total is 180. So if I go, what's the co-function for sine? Well, it's the other co. It's the cosine. See, the co-functions go like this because they have one co in one word, each word like that. So then you just take whatever this angle is and subtract from 90. So the co-function identity for sine of 40 is cosine of 50 degrees. You see I had 90 minus 40 is that. So what's the co-function for cosecant? Well, it's secant. And what's 90 minus 35? I do believe that's 65 degrees. Okay, here's two of the U tries. Okay, first we'll go with reciprocal identities. Why don't you guys try to write down the reciprocal identities for those three? Go ahead, or those two. Go ahead and pause it. Okay, you should have found those identities right there. And then how about write down the co-function identities for these three angles? Go ahead and pause it. And you should have found those equations right there. Okay, that's it for this video.